Yep, it's gonna be one of those days, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Those days where like I don't know how to speak English and my mouth doesn't work. But good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are, another beautiful day to be alive, another great day to be out here fishing. And today I have zero plan. Me and Bethany, I brought Bethany with me today.
Hi.
We decided to come out here and see what we can get done. Got a little bit of a late start. Didn't really get up super early this morning because the low last night was like low 30s, high 20s. And the high today though is going to be in the 60s. I'm getting like a 52 to 53 degree water temperature. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to do kind of like that mid-morning, afternoon, evening bite kind of thing and see if that's what they're doing. And that's what we're going to be doing this morning. I'm going to be starting out with my signature series monster bass Squarebill crankbait, which I'm very excited about. We're going to see if we can put some fish in the boat with that thing. But like always, you know, zero plans, zero expectations. We're just gonna go fishing. We're gonna see what we can get done, and hopefully you guys will enjoy today's episode. He's the savior of the free world. There we go. There we go. Oh my word. Yep, that's the first good one for the day. Hey babe, yeah. Do me a favor and get the net.
Oh, come on.
No, I really do need the net, please. Barely got him hooked.
Where are we at?
Right here, here he comes. Put him in the net. Hi, good job, girlfriend. Now that ain't too bad right there, boys. I tell you what, first one of the day. Set the old spotter locker here. Look at that. That is exactly what you want on the new Rayburn Red Alex Red Fishing Signature Monster Bass Crankbait. I tell you what, that's awesome. That hook's kept him pinned good too. I'm happy with that. I thought that fish was a lot bigger than that, to be honest with you guys. Yeah, but
I mean, I got up the hook.
Hey, woman. Yeah, well, there we go. There we go. Yep. Little bitty dude. It is. Out here a little bit deeper though. Man, they're crunching that thing. I know that much. When they do eat it, they're eating it good. Whale. Look at him. The thickness. He'll grow up and be a big one of these days. Get out here, dude. GoPro, stop recording. Well, that's two so far. Really kind of strange deal. Both fish have came on clay, mud, kind of nothing banks. You know, even though there's rock on the bank, where the water's so far down, essentially we're in the clay. And they both have been orienting to some kind of hard piece of cover. Both of them man-made cover so far, right? Both were on one was on a boat dock, the other one was on a floating boat dock, and it's just kind of weird. So I've run over here to this kind of main lake deal, little main lake point. It's clay mud, not a ton to it, you know, some kind of sparse rock, and that may be what they're wanting to be on today. I mean, it's one of those deals is this time of year, you know, a lot of people are like, you need to get on rock, you need to get on this, you need to get on that, but I've seen days when they just want to be on stuff that looks like absolutely nothing. And so that's what I'm going to fish. I'm going to fish a bunch of stuff that looks like absolutely nothing and kind of eliminate whether that's what they want to be on or not. So yeah, just putting the pieces of the puzzle together, boys. Putting the pieces of the puzzle together. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, that's a much better fish.
Got it?
Net.
Net?
Net. Again, around something hard. Here, baby.
Sorry.
You're good. Oh God, get him in the net. Holy crap, Bethany. I got the greatest wife in the world, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, did y'all look at this? Look at that. That right there is the greatest wife in the world.
Fish.
She just caught that fish, just came off, and she caught that thing in the, hey, give me some of that, girlfriend. That's what I'm talking about. Another little chunkity dunk. Seized old Pete, Bethany.
What?
Golly. Look here, guys. Switched it up just a little bit.
What
Sun came out.
That's a drill bit.
Oh, I'll have to get that up. Sun came out, switched it up to the juice crawl with that pink belly on there, and caught me a nice little chunkity dunk. Man, these fish they're pissed off, man. They're just so strong right now. They're starting to move up. They're starting to eat a whole bunch more, and they're just getting stronger and more pissed off, and they start getting real thick this time of year. I love it. I love it. That's number 3. Around something hard, like man-made hard cover. That is the weirdest deal. I mean, I don't understand. They don't want to be around trees. Like, they're not around trees at all. I've fished 652 laydowns. They're on hard man-made cover, like whatever this thing is right here. It's like a barge tie up, or I have no idea what that is, but that's what that fish came off of. I swam that little crankbait, fished that little crankbait right by that end post right there. That's what he came off of. That fish I caught this morning, I swam it right by the end of that last post on that dock, came off there and ate it, and then that little fish that I caught over there just a few minutes ago, right at the end of a floating dock, and he came off and ate it. So I always say 3's a pattern, but then again, I don't know. The problem is there's just not, I'm kind of looking around here thinking, there's not a whole lot of stuff that sets up like this. You know, boats in 10 foot of water, I'm throwing up into 4 to 6 foot of water, and you got to find stuff like this, you know, the ends of these hard man-made cover kind of things, and it's just not, there's not a ton of that. There's a boat ramp right here in the water, which I'm interested by. I wonder if there'll be one sitting on the end of this boat ramp, but yeah, that's funny. It's really interesting. I switched up to this juice crawl too, because the sun has come out. The wind has died down just a touch. It's definitely not gusting as hard as it was this morning. And this water is just a scotch clearer. So I wanted still something in that crawl pattern, still something that's going to give me that reddish, pinkish hue that I like to have this time of year. And I also like this bait too, because we put like a gold iridescence all over it. So when you do put it in the water, that gold really pops. And that gold kind of works in unison with that pink. And it kind of reflects an orangish, kind of gold, weird kind of color. And it does, honestly, a really good job of mimicking what threadfin shad look like this time of year, which there's a ton of those up here too, because I spooked a few minutes ago when I was reeling my crankbait back. They come, you know, barreling out of the water like something had been after them, which also tells me that it's probably been something after them. So yeah, that's number 3. We're just going to keep on grinding around here. I mean, it seems about every hour and a half I get a bite, which, heck, give myself a couple more hours and a half and see if we can put us a little limit into the boat and see what we can get done. Determine what you want to eat. That is awesome. That is awesome. Oh God, get the net, babe. Oh, I just broke him off.
Aww.
That was a good one too. He just broke me off, got me down in them stakes. He'll come up tail walking here in just a minute. You know, it sucks. Even though I did lose that fish, I figured out what the pattern is. Those fish want to be on vertical cover. They want to be on things that are straight up and down. That's why that fish bit, because he was on those straight up and down, like crappie spikes or whatever the crap those things were. But that's the thing about every piece of man-made cover that I said that I fished on, it's straight up and down kind of stuff. Boat dock post, those barge tie-ups, those things that are straight up and down, hard edges. And that's what those fish wanted to be on, which kind of makes sense because this water's come up really, really quick. And oftentimes when that water goes up quick, those fish will want to go shallow with it and get really, really shallow. And the first thing that they'll go to is some kind of piece of vertical hard cover because it allows them to move up and down on that vertical hard cover. But I don't know, sucks to suck, I guess. I don't usually do stuff like that, so it kind of irked me just a little bit just now that I did that. But hey, there's nothing you can do about it, and it gives me hope. Kind of gives me I guess, like, gets me anxious because I know that those fish are moving up here. You know, that's the first big one that I've saw. Well, the deal is about this bite is it's only going to get better from here on out. And the warmer this water gets, right now I'm sitting at 57.5 degrees. The warmer this water gets, the more and more that bite is going to turn into the bite that we can get on. You know, that square bill, real shallow, right up in the dirt kind of bite. And that's the kind of stuff I like. So, yeah, sucks, but learned something. Crappie steaks right here. There we go. That is freaking nuts. That is freaking nuts. Are you kidding me? Babe, get the net. Are you freaking kidding me? That is crazy that those fish are crappie steaks right there. He's got it choked too.
You don't need me then?
No, yeah, go ahead and net him. Go ahead and net him. Get in there. That is freaking crazy to me that I just figured that bite out like that. Look at him. I mean, sideways in the jaws. That is crazy. These fish, literally that fish is in inches of water up here. I'm not even in 1.5 feet right here. That is freaking crazy. Anything that's straight up and down, and you guys probably can't see them, but right there in front of me is a set of crappie steaks. That is crazy. God, and these fish are strong. They're pissed off. They're males is what they are. All these fish are males. Water's 58.5 right here. They are, hey, I tell you something, they get ready to make some babies. They're pissed off and get ready to make some babies. That is freaking awesome. Hey. Lord of mercy. Man, so I need to like go get in the backs of some pockets and catch some fishies. Thing is, I threw at that thing like 15 times to get those fish to eat. Here we are back at the house, back in the beard barn, and I have to say that was probably one of the most interesting bites that I have ever been on. Those fish wanted to be on some kind of man-made vertical cover. They wanted to be on something straight up and down that was man-made. Trees in the water? No. Laydowns? Wouldn't touch it. It just had to be something like a boat dock post or those barge tie-up or those crappie steaks. And I really, truthfully, I think a lot of what that is it's that first piece of hard cover that they get to as that water's coming up, as they're wanting to push up to spawn, and that's what they want to be around. And ended up having a really good day that gives me a lot of kind of insight as to what's going on, where they're going to, because that's really one of the most important things for me in spring bass fishing and really in fishing in general, but especially spring bass fishing. I want to figure out where they're going to, because if I can be there when they're coming to me, I'm going to catch a lot more fish. I'm going to catch a lot bigger fish. And so awesome stuff yesterday. Had a ton of fun doing what I did. And going into next week, I'm going to be off for spring break, so I have a bunch of time off next week that I'll be able to go fish during the week when there isn't a bunch of pressure on the lake, a bunch of people there. And so I got a feeling we're going to put some fish into the boat going into next week. Now let's talk about what I was throwing on to catch the fish that I did, because it's a very special what I was throwing, because I was throwing my signature crankbait from Monster Bass, the Alex Red Fishing signature hammerhead, and I fished it in 2 colors all day long. This one right here, juice crawl, and then Rudd Red. So when I got there in the morning, water was super dirty where I started at, so I tied on the Rudd Red, ended up getting a couple bites on that, switched over to the juice crawl and caught one in some clearer water that I found. And then when I got back into the muddy water, caught one on the, well, hooked that one, broke it off on the Rudd Red, tied the juice crawl back on, and caught the one that I did, still in that super dirty water. And I really just think that those fish were keyed in on that Squarebill. I think if I would have had an opportunity to stay there just a little bit longer, that there would have been more and more fish moving up and starting to eat. And it really was an afternoon deal. You know, when I got back into that muddier water, that super shallow shallow water. The sun had been on it all day. We were getting into that 4:30, 5:30, 5 o'clock range, and so it was the warmest part of the day. That water had a chance to warm up all day, and I was finding water from 57 to 58 degrees, and I really think those fish were a bunch of males, a bunch of chubby fat males. I think the one that I broke off actually was a female that had started to move up in there. They had started using those crappie stakes, started using that man-made cover, and they were starting to get ready to do the boogie and make some babies. And that little squarebill was just something that passed by them quick. They reacted to it, and as you guys saw, towards the end of the day, they really started getting it. That last one I caught had this thing completely sideways in his mouth, where those fish earlier on in the day weren't getting it as good, and I actually had them hooked on the back hook and was, you know, having Bethany net them for me because I just hadn't have them hooked good at all. You know, you'd have one hook in them or something like that because the water hadn't warmed up. They were a little bit more lethargic overall, and that's just kind of what happens. You know, they just don't eat it as good when they're not as keyed up and their metabolism isn't as pumping. Then I caught all those fish on my 7-foot Greg Hackney Lew's cranking rod. Absolutely love this cranking rod for Squarebills. This is an Academy exclusive rod, so I will link an equivalence to this down below, which really is the KVD 7-foot medium Squarebill rod, but I'll link an equivalence down below. But if you want to check out this specific rod, you got to pick it up at Academy, and unfortunately I don't think they sell them online anymore. You can only pick them up in stores, so if you got a local Academy or something like that, you guys can go check it out. And then I had that paired up with my Lew's Tournament Pro 6/8 gear ratio, and then some 10-pound Strike King fluorocarbon. And unfortunately there was a bad spot in my line in that Strike King fluorocarbon, which it's good stuff. I love this stuff. I've caught a lot of big fish on it, put a lot of big fish in the boat, but unfortunately had a little nick in there when that big one decided to run out. And that was what was really kind of crazy about those fish that bit that shallow, is they were so shallow that they didn't really even have enough momentum to get up and tail walk. They wanted to go straight out and back into what they were moving towards, and that's what that big one did. She come up tail walking once, barely, and then took me back into those crappie stakes, and when she got into those crappie stakes, there was nothing I could do about it. Just cut that line, and it was done, because the line did come back cut clean, which sucks. But the thing is that fish is there somewhere. I'll be able to go back and catch her, and I can promise you there's going to be about 5 more of her just like her move up in there over the next few weeks, because we are getting into the spawn, boys. It is starting to happen. Pre-spawn bite is full blown right now on a lot of these lakes. We're starting to get a lot of fish moving up, a lot of fish moving up shallow. So go pick you up a Squarebill. Alex We're Fishing Squarebill. Go pick you up a cranking stick. Go cranking. Go catch some big pre-spawn bass, because the time is upon us here in East Tennessee. But yeah, had a great time yesterday. It was a great day out on the water with my wife, hanging out. Absolutely gorgeous day the past couple of days. And we got spring break coming up with an absolutely gorgeous forecast in the future. So I'm very, very excited about it. But I always want to thank you guys for taking time out of your busy day, your busy week, to come and hang out with me, to watch these videos. Make sure to go down in the description, hit all the links for all the stuff that I've got linked down below. It really helps me out. But as always, you guys are sweet, and thank you for watching.